Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build model kits and hang out with you on a special early Saturday. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote right back at me. And if you don't have that, if you're not a subscriber, you can throw another emote. Um, as mentioned, obviously, folks that are watching this live know, those that are watching later on YouTube or the VOD on Twitch, this is way earlier than normal. Normally stream 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. It's currently 6 p.m. Eastern. Epic Open World is here. Mr. Bob is here. The reason being is that I'm picking up a shift at the Brooklyn Comedy Collective, the place that I do some tech at, usually twice a week, Friday nights and Sunday nights. I am working this evening. And I didn't want to skip a stream. Lastbrook is here. Hi, Lastbrook. Didn't want to skip a stream. Um, and so I'm just doing 6 to 8, and then I'll have time to upload this video and get ready to go, and then go into to work and work a couple hours. So figured, thing I could definitely do would be to stream early. I hope you're all having a good. Oh, focus here. What's going on? There we go. I hope you're all having a good Saturday. I'll admit, on my list of things to get done, did not get them all done. I have some things that I'll have to do. Don't think I'll be able to do at work, so tomorrow's load is a little heavier, but that's okay. Lord Crashton is here. Hi, Lord Crashton. Welcome, welcome. We are gonna obviously we do the thing. Those that watched the stream before know that I have music playing and the image up as people kind of load in to hang out. And then once the stream starts officially, we talk for a little bit, a couple minutes, and then we start building. And I'll certainly do that today. Yeah, I mean, I've got some anime to talk about. Did any of the shows that I watch end? Uh, of the four shows that we will talk about, or five shows, I should say, that we will talk about, none of them ended. Uh, the season of two of them will end next week, but no ending this on for the shows. The five shows I'll talk about there, that I'll talk about today. But getting close to it. Some stuff is wrapping up on my watching. And then also one of the shows I watched has one more episode next week. It's a show I have not talked about on the stream, but I started watching a little bit. It's called GRANBELM, and I didn't watch it. And then a friend was like, "Hey, it's it's witches and mechs, and it's a mech mage show." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds pretty good." And they were like, "Yeah, it takes a real long time to get good, and then it gets good." So we'll talk about that. I still don't know if I can recommend it because it is very slow. And the twist, some people probably saw coming. And when I saw it coming, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's an interesting twist." And then it was just like, "Yeah, let's explore this twist and really fucking dive into it. Are you ready for feelings?" And I was not. Uh, and they got one more episode. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. And we're working on the GM command from War in the Pocket. Excited to work on this kit here. It's green. You can't really see it because it's green. But we did the head. We did the chest. Um, we finished one arm. I finished the hand off stream because it was giving me problems. We will do the shoulder joint and the other arm. And then we will just keep building. Got to put some shoulder armor on there and the waist unit. Um, I'm not necessarily expecting to. We're definitely not finishing up today, but we'll get some work done on it. Um, arms are next, and then waist, and then legs, and then weapons. So I'm expecting on Monday to wrap up this very nice kit. I hope you're all doing well. Like I said, we're going to wait a couple minutes to see if anybody else wants to join us. This might be a light stream, which is, understandable. I can say that I've had a Pat Baer approved Saturday since Epic Open World. I finished River City Girls. Hell yeah. Watched the GB Quick Look of the new Nintendo anime robot game. Yeah, man, it's a bad name because I don't ever remember it. Watched an episode of Is It Wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon and then took a nap. Heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. Enjoy that nap. I hope you enjoyed that nap, Epic World. Uh, yeah, I can't remember the name of that game, but it's Austin Walker was talking about it, of course, because of course he was. Uh, it's like an it is like an Armor Core successor, spiritual successor. That seemed pretty alright. I have not watched the Giant Bomb Quick Look at that, but yeah, yeah. I had a bunch of errands to do today, which I did, and I had to shoot a video for my Patreon. For those that don't follow my Patreon, once a month I shoot a Q&A video that is only for Patreon supporters. So I put it up for them, and I did that today, which is an easy, not a hard thing to do, but um, they're doing construction next door, and that's generally fine. Except today they were using a very loud piece of equipment. But not like we're using it for the next 2 hours. It was like we're using it, and then nothing. And then they started using it again. And I was like, what is this thing? It it sounded kind of like when you're like jackhammering nails into concrete or rebarb into concrete, or like it was this hammered sound that would be like thumps, and it like rattled the house. So I was shooting this Patreon thing, and then they started doing that for like, and I was like, oh, I'll just pause it. But then they did it for like 25 minutes, so I wasted some time. And then when it seemed like they stopped, I went back and just re-recorded that. So that was annoying. Um, but I did have the benefit of I just do those raw, that I was able to like say what I wanted to say, but in a more concise manner, which I don't often get to do in anything that I do these days. So much of what I do is off the cuff that it's kind of nice to do a take two. Anyway, I got some water. I'm going to drink some of that water right now. I hope that your Saturdays were good. If you did anything today, let me know. I played some Hearthstone today a little bit, which was good. Got some Hearthstone in. Let's go to the overhead. Yeah. So yeah, you can see our command, and it's lovely green color, which the overhead does a decent job of showing off. And just a little bit of a nice maroon there for the chest, and then the face there. It's really nice. These colors, they're muted. Certainly, the green is probably the most expressive color in the whole kit, but it makes sense for that it's not flashy because it's not. This is a mass-produced unit, and it's worn the pocket, and so it is not meant. It makes sense that it's not flashy. That all of this feels mass-produced and whatever. The fact that the cockpit stands out is clearly a choice for the designer. And I would say you shouldn't make the cockpit stand out. Now, Batman does. Batman has the yellow bat symbol, which various authors have decided at different times why he does that. Generally, it's because that is reinforced. So instead of aiming at his head, you aim at his chest, which is, has Kevlar and light armor and other detractors. And so that is like a focal point. But that doesn't necessarily work in a mobile suit, because this is where the person is. The person is right here. So maybe don't make it a color that they get attracted to. Batman does not have to deal with beam sabers. And of course, Mr. Bob, indeed. But like a beam saber to the chest, like that feels like game over. The anime robot game is Daemon X Machina. Yes, best part about it, between missions you can go get ice cream that boosts your stats. Hell yeah. Ice cream boost. That is great. I like that a lot. Alright, so we got some components here to start making our shoulder joint, which we will do presently. Some of our only connectors, our rubber connectors, are part of this piece. Put that there. But yeah, Daemon X Machina Like, I'm not going to remember that tomorrow. Don't think that's a great video game name. It might be good for SEO, but I don't think it's good for brand recognition. Daemon Ex Machina 2. The Hunt is On. Which is definitely not what that subtitle is. Oh, I missed a piece. E17. E17. There it is, yeah. Was that the game with the special Joy-Cons, Mr. Bob? I do not know, Mr. Bob. Maybe it did come with Joy-Cons. In all the thousands of Batman stories, I have to believe he fought someone with a beam saber. And Epic says, yes, it is. Okay, so apparently it came out with some custom Joy-Cons. That's fun. Um, yeah, so maybe it'll be remembered because of that more than anything else. Yes, I'm sure that Batman at some point has had to fight a villain that uses. Uh, they made giant Joy-Cons for the game. They are very big. Okay, Mr. Bob, I'll take your word for it. I believe you, and I will look at that in the future. Y'all could Google it now if you want. All right, arm goes in there. That's good. Hand goes in there. That's good. All right, that's done. That arm is done. Now we do the other arm. This was a little annoying. We did it previously here. Shouldn't be too annoying now. These pieces fit together fine. It was a little confusing. Oh, okay. Maybe I want to use that. I don't know. All right. So let's get this piece out here. Hello. How are you people today? Ultron's here. Hi, Ultron. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing all right. Like I said, I didn't complete all the tasks I needed to do today, which is fine, because I'll add them tomorrow. At least one of them I might be able to do while I'm at work tonight, but during the second show. Although I should, my first show actually, probably. We'll see. All right. Okay, so this goes like this. This goes like this. Yeah, I had a little difficulty getting this hand clasped properly on Thursday, and I ended up doing it off stream because I was like, it was the end of the stream, and I was like, I'm tired. Thursday was fun. We had a raid with a bunch of people, which was really nice. Leo, I'm the one that's early, so don't worry about it at all. Happy to have you here. Normally I stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's 6 p.m. Eastern. So no worries. I'm just streaming early because I'm covering a work shift tonight. So I decided that instead of not streaming, I would stream early. So yeah, happy to have you here. Yeah, Thursday was fun. We had that very nice raid and some new followers and some gift subs, which is always cool, and just like in general, just like a nice, chill, pleasant stream. Let's use the fist hand on this one. Well, no, we'll use the trigger hand. Trigger hand's good. So we just pull off all the extra hands. This Master Grade does come with hand options, which I always appreciate. Got a bunch of different options here. Ones with triggers and ones with grips. Always appreciated. I like having options. I was aware, just got absorbed while terrorizing this small town as a goose. Right? I don't know if I'm going to stream Untitled Goose Game, but I am very much enjoying it. I bought 2 video games this week, and for me, that's a lot of video games because I have not bought games in a while. But I mean, I had to get Untitled Goose Game. It's so good. And I tweeted about this. I don't normally enjoy playing as a villain or I don't like being the antagonist of my own story. Um, but the mechanics are so fun, and I think it's a lot of it's because like that's what a goose is, and that's what a goose does. So I'm not like mad at myself for doing a good job being a goose, because like that's what this goose would be doing with or without me. Um, Also, um, you know, the fact that it is a goose means that it doesn't have dialogue that makes me go, because like one of the things that could stop me from enjoying it would be to like have dialogue about being a bad person, or in this case, obviously, a bad goose. But I don't have that problem. The goose is loose, and that's okay. This goose is bad. Bad news, goose. It's a really fun game, y'all. I have not gotten Apple Arcade. My phone is old. My iPad Mini is old. I'm not in a rush to find out if if they would still be working and good. Uh, I'm sure I will at some point get Apple Arcade and play some of those games. But right now, I'm not inclined to find out. Also, there's no room in my phone for games at this point outside of Pokemon Go and maybe one other thing on occasion. Uh, Mr. Bob says geese are the most dangerous animal. They're pretty dangerous. Can I just say I don't get the goose game craze. I've watched people play it, seen the gifs, and it's not drawing me in. So Epic Open World, the thing that might get you to try this out is some people, call it a puzzle game, and it certainly is puzzles. It's an objective-based game, and you're puzzle solving as you go. I think the most apt thing uh, that that was said about this game that got me to go like, that does make sense why I like it, is, as Ultron says, is that it is like it's Hitman-esque. It hits some of the notes of trial and error, and there's no end state. Generally, if generally you just get chewed out of an area and you get another try, which is cool. They don't just go like, "Wait, what are you doing here? It's time for murder." Um, but yeah, it is. It is like, and of course, it's not as robust. The AI logic isn't certainly as robust as you would find in a Hitman game, so it does fall apart there a little bit. And that might also be a detractor for some people, is that it doesn't necessarily feel. It might not feel as good as a Hitman game. But I do think that generally, in general, anyway, it is a really strong game, and I think the music is really fun, piano music, and like just chill. Uh, but yeah, it might not be for you, Epic Open World. It might not be your jam. I also think that's fine. Um, I love Hitman, but I think the issue is I don't like the art style. Okay, I mean that totally is. Now I need to skin a Hitman that turns 47 into a goose. I mean they do have the mascot outfit, so you can do that. It's not the same. It's not the same, but it is something. Yeah, so this is a little difficult getting these pieces lined up here. Um, I'll admit, trying to get this to just connect and stay connected has been a little frustrating. Yeah, I mean, if you don't like the art style, you don't like the art style, I know that a friend of mine was like, hey, I've checked out Control, and I don't like the aesthetic. Do you think that I should get it? And I was like, no, because I don't think the gameplay is particularly, I think it's pretty repetitive and like fine, but not like incredible. So if you don't like the world building and you don't like the tropes involved in it, then then I'm like, probably not gonna like playing Control. I wouldn't go, like I think the atmosphere and the storytelling and the side story stuff and all of that compounds to make it a really interesting experience. And you're not going to get that if you're like, I don't dig this world. Like I'm like, oh, then probably not. Probably not. It's possible that someone could like control if they don't like the world building, but I find that unlikely. Oh, I dropped some stuff. Pick some stuff up here. Uh, but yeah, I mean, like, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and I don't know if I would be able to convince you otherwise. Uh, I will just say, I'm really enjoying it. Um, Ultron says, "Scene control makes me want to see a Cabin in the Woods game." Okay, I can see that. That could be fun. Um, yeah, it's a pretty solid. That could be interesting. Uh, that could definitely be a unique, like, yeah, in the same way that it's an overall arching story, but a lot of small little chapters and stories and stuff like that. I can see that working. Uh, they got that spooky government facility vibe, indeed. And I love that because I think that one of the charming parts of Control is that they're not like, hey, this place is weird because we started bringing all this stuff here. They're like, hey, this place is weird. We set up a base here in this weird place, and now we're like gonna figure this shit out. Uh, just starting as it being like, yeah, this place is strange, so we just decided that this is where we're gonna build things around. I think it's way more interesting than being like, yeah, no, this is just another. This just happens to be a place where we put all this weird stuff. I don't know. I think that's a great decision. Instead of like, one of the fun things they say about a lot of like, hey, why is this police station haunted uh in Resident Evil? Why are they in like a weird police station that has like puzzles to open doors? Like, do people have to do that every day and then they reset? Like, what's going on? And they're like, well, don't ask those questions. This game is just like, Control is just like, yeah, we moved into a spooky, weird place to do our thing. So it's spooky. And then we bring in some spooky stuff too. But like, it would be spooky without us. That's way more interesting to me anyway. All right. Shoulders are go. There. And there. Good. Good, good, good. All right, time to. We got to put on some shoulder armor, and then connect them. What's going on here? Okay. I get it now. F. I get Control. I will wait until inevitable holiday sales. World. I bought Greedfall instead because it's basically a lower budget party based Bioware RPG, and no one, including Bioware, makes those anymore. Indeed, Dragon Age, babe, Dragon Age should come out. That most likely there will be a Dragon Age. I can't tell you when there will be, but it seems like there's going to be a Dragon Age. From what I have seen, Control has later season Shield vibes. Well, Mr. Bob, I did not watch later season Shields, but it does have a bit of a Monster of the Week and paranormal and lots of experiment stuff, lots to find and discover. It's fun. It's a good game. It's one of my favorite games of the year. All right. Okay, so these go on like this. Take this here. And, okay. Um, I retweeted this, and it's on the League of Heels website. But Graham Stark from Loading Ready Run finally put up his last day of PAX East video, which involves a lot of League of Heels stuff because Graham and Adam from Loading Ready Run were on, and it was nice. They got some backstage stuff, some stuff about me like doing my job part of the thing and talking to people about stuff, which was fun. Uh, it's somewhat of an explanation of what the fuck League of Heels is, although not necessarily a lot of explanation about what it is, which is fine. But it does feature one of the rarest things ever recorded on film, which is I talked to Graham on camera post panel. I am not wearing glasses and I am not wearing sunglasses because I had taken my sunglasses off and not put my glasses on. I also have a big lipstick kiss on my forehead from Frisco Flame, but that's besides the point. Generally, you only see me like sometimes during the league shows. Depending on the sunglasses, I have to like take them down so I can see because if the lights are the way the lights are shining on the sunglasses, it means I can't see that well because they're not prescription sunglasses. But it is pretty much unheard of for me to just be like not wearing my glasses because that is not my jam. I like being able to see. So it was very weird to be like for me it was very odd to look at myself without sunglasses on or glasses. It was odd. So I might be odd for other people. 17. 17. All right. To know League of Heel is to know oneself. No one can understand. No one can understand League of Heels is comprehensible and all-encompassing. Well, you know. It was nice also because there were like conversations about the, as Graham says, breaking kayfabe, which is accurate. We a video does it, but it does show that we do plan things out somewhat. And then also the conversations of how I tried to separate Aaron and Rich, but that did not work out. I also somewhat attempted to, by working the running order of the PAX Rumble, make it so that somebody that goes to multiple PAXs won, which did not happen. Now, that doesn't matter because we did our special panel, not our special like behind-the-scenes panel, Tall Tales, not the official panel. But it is that thing where I'm just like, well, Rich doesn't go to West, so oh no. It's a good thing we didn't say that there was any prize for winning. Whatever. But yeah, if it means a few more people might watch the panel or check it out, that's cool. It's also like one of the big reasons that I'm starting to do, which I'll link to later, that I'm trying to do vlogs at conventions is because of Graham. Of Graham and his very good vlogs. So it is he is the reason why I've been trying to do that. Because I think they're just very cool. I will try to do a day vlog. I think I'm going to try to do, it'll be basically just a little bit of clips here and there, and won't be as in depth as my PAX vlogs. But I'm going to try to do a New York Comic Con vlog because I will. I'll probably just do like behind the scenes stuff from where I'm working, and then the show floor on Sunday because I'll go on Sunday. This is going to be there'll be an odd week of streaming in 2 weeks. Basically, Wednesday, October 2nd, I will be streaming at my normal time because Thursday I will be working and will not be back until very late. And I'm working Friday, and I'll be back very late. And I'll be working Saturday and back very late. And then Sunday, I will stream in the normal time. So that way, I will stream on Wednesday, October 2nd. Or I'll still do Monday the 30th, then Wednesday, October 2nd, and then Sunday, October 6th, and then again on the 7th, and then back to normal because the shifts I have just don't work for streaming. I'm done at like 10 or 11 uh, each night, and it's just like not good. Even the one night I think I'm done pretty reasonably timed. I'm just never going to make it back here in time to stream. So I won't stream in those times. And so instead I'll do Wednesday and then Sunday, and I won't do a bonus gaming stream that week. And I think that's the best thing I can do to attempt to still manage to stream for y'all. But I will do some sort of vlog while I'm there, I think. Um, Epic Open World says, Pat, I was thinking about this. What if, as a League of Heels stunt, you made the contestants play a not wrestling game and you not tell them beforehand at the final match? That could be interesting, depending on the game. I do think a core element of it is that the wrestling is the game and not and there's not real physicality. We have done Quiplash, of course that was League of Heels themed, and if we do Quiplash again, it'll be wrestling themed. Um, Maybe not League of Heels, but wrestling in general. Ooh, these come on pretty nice. But so I don't know. I don't know if surprising people with a game. I mean, here's the thing, Epic Open World. Folks know what the game is going into it, and if I have 30 people playing a video game, some of them don't actually know how to play the game they're playing, and such few of them ever even knowing what game it is and having instructions on how the controls work mailed to them actually play the game. So it's not much different if they know what the game is and don't know the game is. Unfortunately, I say that wishing they would fucking watch a YouTube video about how to play the game or something. They have to figure out how to play a television wrestling game for a title match. I mean, it's just like sometimes people do the research, but most of the time they don't even do that. Ooh, let's see. I got a spam. Ooh. I got some spam. We will provide Twitch Prime subs. No drops at all. Ooh, really? I think that this is spam. I'm going to report it. I'm reporting it live, folks. Yeah. And now I'm blocking the person. Hooray, we did it. Seems legit. The stink bugs are back. Yeah, no. We're not letting that stand, folks. And, all right, sorry, the work email. I want to check the real quick. Okay, work email, that's fine. I like when people have no idea how to play those games, eliminate people. Yes, sometimes it's just like button mashing, like, or sometimes it's just, in the case of playing an N64 game, stamina does take into account. If you've been playing for a very long time, eventually you are going to be in a predicament because your character just gets tired, and a fresh character has an advantage over you, even if a person might not know how to play that game. I was talking about something totally different, like a Street Fighter 2 or random racing game. I'm just talking about title match, and you could make it a part of the story where someone like Dave Lang switched the game. Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Epic Open World. I don't know. I have such little control. Like, obviously, we talk about what's going to happen and all that, and then in a case of like the Rumble, we didn't know who was going to win because it wasn't predetermined who was going to win. It sometimes is, certainly storyline wise, all that. But I think that I don't know if I would want to add that element of chaos to an already chaotic event. I don't know. It's something to think about, but I just don't know off the top of my head, thinking about it now, if that would be fun. Um, they have WWE items in Rocket League. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, look, we played Gang Beasts, and this was before the wrestling ring was in Gang Beasts. We just played Gang Beasts because we thought that was a fun thing to do, and I'm definitely interested in that. I don't know if I'm interested in the you don't know how to play this because, um, like, okay, West Coast Wishes, right? Two of the matches were played with a game that's terrible. I explained the game was terrible. They knew what the game was. Nobody of the people that played it downloaded Wrestling Revolution, which is fine. No one came by the booth and asked to play it on my laptop, which I offered. That's fine. But I want to give people the option, at least, to at least like check things out. I don't know if the completely blind thing would be fun on my end. I don't know. It might be just because I like to plan things too much to let like that happen. I kind of like this game is hard to play, or this game is bonkers, or this game is just bad, or like being the thing rather than I don't know how to play this. No one knows how to play this. We're all just gonna fail at it. I don't know. Like I said, an element of surprise isn't bad, but I don't know. The honest thing I want to do is try to figure out another way to do a Jackbox or similar kind of game, if not just Quiplash again. Because the thing that Quiplash had that was awesome was that the audience voted. The audience voted in every matchup, and we've never had that before or since. And that's something that I'm definitely interested in trying to recreate, to have the audience be involved outside of just cheering and yelling. That felt very cool. So I would like to, at some point, figure out another Jackbox game. Like I said, either being Quiplash 2 again or something similar. Could be really fun. And then the only other thing we did have is we had audience cheering in our PAX Unplugged panel, which is different because at the same time we still have to decide which of the audience members, like which person the audience member is actually cheering for. So there is an element of that. But it was that was also very fun. You could have a tournament in that one Jackbox tournament game. Oh, bracketeering. We just do bracketeering. Again, that doesn't make it weird if no one knows how to play it. Greg Miller has done his tournament for 2 years, and both years most people did not know how to play the games. Yes. I found it shocking people in the games industry don't know how to play Overcooked. I mean, it could easily be like a thing where, like Khalif is in the games industry, but he doesn't necessarily hang out with a lot of gamers. He does in person. Overcooked is a game that, if the Polygon office doesn't review Overcooked, they have somebody hanging out who works from home play it and with other people. Then that office isn't gonna know. There's so many games, but I think that sometimes that could be fun. So there is something interesting about a mystery game. Literally, no one knows what it is. That can be fun. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, so I won't do it. Honestly, I'll be honest is the thing I just said. Rewind it. I would probably do something where I would say it's a mystery game. No one knows what it is, and then it's just a WCW game. If you're not often in a situation for couch co-op, Overcooked this game, you probably never play. Yeah, if you just don't have people, But I really like I genuinely like the idea of it's a secret, nobody knows, and then it's just another WWF game or a WCW game. It's another. We're just playing another N64 game, and that's the big reveal. Is that it's just the rules are slightly different. All right, so we're working on here on our waist. We got our body done here, and our waist is where our beam sabers are held, which is a good place for beam sabers. Obviously, in some instances, you would have a beam saber like behind the shield, but in this instance, behind the shield is where the magazines for the machine gun are kept, which is also a good spot for that. All right, so we need H and F. Here's H. Here's F. We'll do that. F18, F18. Easy enough. They have to play the first level of Superman 64. Well, I don't hate our audience. Epic. How many different N64 games have been played? It's always the one. So, every US PAX where we have played an N64 game has been WrestleMania 2000 because that's the Royal Rumble mode that we chose to do, and it's a good Royal Rumble. In the semi-non-canonical, in that my character, Pat Baer, does not consider it happened. In the Great Australian Bash, they played WCW Nitro, or No Mercy. I gotta look this up. I'm literally looking up because it's the only League of Heels show that I wasn't at. So, GAF Heels. I just gotta look it up. It's the only one I never worked on. So Aaron brought his N64, and weirdly, it didn't work in Australia. How weird. Literally, I forgot because it's non-canonical. The LeagueOfHeels.com website does not list any information other than the fact that Kate won. It says some kind of rumble. So I believe it was a WCW game. Maybe I don't remember which one. Revenge, maybe? It was a WCW game because Aaron had to go and borrow a PAL N64 and also a game. Now, fun fact about that game, it had a lot of the save WCW vs. NWO Revenge. Lord Crashington, I believe that's it. I believe that's the one. I believe it's Revenge. That game had saves in it, and it had created characters. So the official breakdown of that has just like Ninja ? And that Ninja just fought like Disco Inferno or something. It was a mess. Everything about that show, the participants of that show are really fun. Epic of the World says Mary Kishel almost won. Mary Kishel almost won. I so want her to win one because she is one of the few people that seems to understand how to play the game. I was rooting for Mary at East. I was definitely rooting for Mary at East because she goes to every PAX and she's been a great person to be in the shows and is always gung-ho for our silliness and gets it. I was happy Kate won. Kate was on a real good streak there. Kate Stark, who still has a wish in League of Heels from beating John Drake. She still has a wish. We don't know when she'll cash that in, but she will at some point. But yeah, the Great Australian Bash. So I had a video. I shot a video for it that they ended up not being able to get to work. I don't know why. Oh no, because it was on a USB, and Aaron handed the USB over, and the USB didn't work. So my video didn't make it in, which is a real shame. I put it on YouTube, and it's not like the funniest thing in the world, but it's basically the idea of like me being like, hey, I bought some satellite time, Aaron. I know you're stressed to be there. I'm happy to be here. I'm going to be here with the whole way. I'm so excited. And then like static happens, and then there's no video anymore. And it's like a quick little silly thing, but I thought it was pretty fun to just be like, and then that allowed him to then introduce Guy or Yug, who did color commentary, who is a big shot in the world of Reed, and one of the people that really wanted us there. Uh, someday I'll go. Someday I'll go to Australia and do a League of Heels show. The biggest problem is they'll want me to do a Rumble, and I won't want to do it. I really don't want to do a Rumble, because it's just so much work. I would want to do a game where that ran on my PC or my laptop, I should say. I would want my laptop to be plugged in and run a game off that because that is doable. Or I would want to do like Smack Talk Showdown and do like a card game. That would be also easier to do, or both. But I would definitely want to do something a little more streamlined, and I'm sure that's not what they're not looking to send me to Australia to do like a small show, and I get that, but I don't know. I don't think I would. It just knowing how much effort and how stressed Aaron was about that show, I'm like, meh, I don't know. I'd love to see Australia. I'd love to. Hey, I'd also love to complete my PAXs. It's the only PAX I've never been to. I would love to do that. Somebody asked me the other day, League of Heels has no plans. We are not planning on doing a show at PAX Unplugged this year. I will be going to PAX Unplugged. I have pitched Improvised Postmortem. I am on another panel that is wrestling related that I don't want to say anything about because it's not my panel. So there is a wrestling style show that was submitted. How many PAXs are there? There are 5 PAXs, Lord Crashington. There is the original PAX Prime, which is now called PAX West. The second one, which was PAX East. Then they did PAX South, which is in San Antonio. Or PAX Australia happened, and then PAX South. And then there's also PAX Unplugged, which is in Philadelphia and is the board game focused one. So there are 4 PAXs that happen in the U.S., 3 that are a traditional PAX, 1 that is focused on board games, and like doesn't have concerts and is a little more low key, but also very fun. And then there is a PAX that is in Australia that is basically also just a regular PAX, but different because it's in Australia. As I said, never been, would like to go someday. I know plenty of people that have gone and really loved it, and someday I would like to go check it out. Unplugged, they seemed both like a lot and not as much as I expect to exist by now. I understand what you're saying, yeah. Well, like PAX, so like Reed, who runs the PAXs, they acquired a European convention that is now powered by PAX. It's still the same thing. It's just like they just use the moniker, which is pretty smart. Instead of making it a full-fledged PAX, it is just another way of doing that, and I think that's pretty smart on their part. This has got to lock in. It's supposed to lock in, and it's not. And I'm going to see if I can figure out why. It's supposed to be like that. Yes, that's what's supposed to happen. Okay, that works. Unplugged was so chill. I want to do that again, but it's right after Thanksgiving, so it makes it be on the road longer. I hear you, Mr. Bob. I want to go to a PAX. If I were going to go to one, it would be South because it seems like tickets don't sell out 5 minutes. However, less people I want to see, like the Giant Bomb folks, go to that one. Yeah. So Epic. I originally had plans to push for people that I like to go to South, because there are people that go to South, certainly, just not as many. And I was like, this is the year. This is the year we all go to South again. Let's do it. Let's go to South. Um, but then I found out that South is like literally like a month and a couple weeks before East, because East is going to be very early next year, and I can't. Like I'm like that's not going to happen. I'm not going to South if it's that close to East. South is also tough for me because I went 2 years in a row. It's the first two. Both years it was a nightmare to get back. And one there was a blizzard, and the other was just a normal amount of snow. Um, so it's a bad time of the year to be on a plane in January, and so I'm like, I don't want to do that. Um, I'm gonna be unplugged. I don't know if I'll be unplugged the entire weekend. My goal right now, the plan is to try to get all my panels on Saturday and just do an overnight. Like go down on Saturday, and then go back to New York on Sunday and skip Friday. That's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if I'll be, right now I think that's the goal, and not do a full weekend at Unplugged, which I like, but like I can't really justify right now. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Who knows? And I also might have to bail on that depending on what's going on in my life. I hope I don't. I want to go and do it, but it'll be weird. Yeah, I mean, like South is fun. It's doesn't have all the glitz and glamour, but it has a lot of room to do stuff. I think the tabletop stuff is great there. The vibe is really nice because people are psyched to be there. Yeah, you don't see some of the big names. Loading Ready Run goes. Sometimes kind of funny folks go, not all the time. Um, and there's some, there's time to talk to people. I think the indie mega booth, like you actually can like approach games there, which is cool. I do like the show, but I understand that it's not for everybody. And if you could do a East or a West, I would probably recommend one of those over South if you can only go to one. It's also not 4 days till Westbrook, which is true. It's also a 3-day con like Unplugged. Um, Although at some point, I bet of the two, I bet Unplugged is the one that goes 4 days first. It won't for a while. It's going to have to build. But I think that show is building way faster, and I could see Unplugged going 4 days before South does, because I think South is just. My biggest problem with South is that, like, you have to. I would have to buy my tickets, my plane tickets for it now, or months ago, to get a direct flight to San Antonio from New York, and that's just annoying. San Antonio really wants the convention, but it's like, I don't know. I think like my right now it's East, West, and then some of Unplugged is the way things are looking right now. That could change. I could last minute decide I'm going to South, but I don't expect to. All right, we finished our waist. It's time to start working on our legs. We'll get started on the legs, then we'll take a pause for the cause. The legs are completely symmetrical, so we can do a lot of it at the same time, which is always good. Um, Again, we don't have any stickers to worry about on the legs. We have two more stickers, and I believe these are both on the shield and weapon, respectively, but I don't remember exactly. Um, Someone was trying to start a rumor. Oh, it was Casey. Lovely Casey Hirokin uh, uh, was attempting to start a rumor that Unplugged was 4 days. And she was like, retweet it. And I was like, no, people will believe me. Then they'll believe you if I retweet it. I have an earnesty on the internet. I can't make people think that. Like that's not my thing. If I make a joke about something, I need it to be obvious. I attempted to be very careful. I retweeted uh Erica Hernandez or wait, no, what am I saying? Gonna make sure I said that right. Uh Erica Henderson. Erica Hernandez is a fun improviser and sketch performer and singer in New York. Erica Henderson is a wonderful Boston-based artist that worked on Squirrel Girl and fucking rules. and she was saying how was talking about this. If you missed it, the wrestler MJF has a photo of him while muscular, saying, "I've never played D&D," which was a successful attempt to promote a match he had against somebody who is known for playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, of course, it blew up because people were mad at him, and many of whom did not know that he is a professional wrestler. Uh, and I was like, so a lot of D&D people were like, "Ha, you just got killed." And he's like, "No, he just got so much great heat." And Erica said something like, uh, "Most of my Facebook is people pretending like they're not mad at a wrestler." Because like, "Oh, I didn't, whatever, didn't get me." Because now, not everybody, but there are people out there who now know that, oh, this was a guy, we got worked. This is a guy coming up with a joke. It was get some heat. He got him real good. Yeah, he doesn't care because like it's still getting passed around, and then people will, he's still getting followers and people engaging with him, and then he can just promote his shit because he's a heel. He's a very good heel. He's a scarf wearing heel. Uh, he's good at what he does, which is to be a jerk. He's very good at being a jerk, wrestler. Um, but yeah, and I said I bet there's so many wrestlers who are so jealous of how good he played people. And then so she was like, jokingly, she was like, well, uh, My Hero Academia isn't that good, brother, which is very funny. But when I retweeted it, she was like, "I hope people don't at me saying that it is good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I hope people don't know that you're joking," which I think is really fun. Uh, This is a bad week for tweets that provoke people in the gaming community. The D&D tweet and the other guy tweeting how gaming just makes you fat and are weak. Yeah, I mean, Epic. There, a lot of that. Yeah, people don't realize that that's for attention. That's why people they don't quote tweet that. Now they capture image capture and then retweet that way, which does actually mitigate some engagement with people, which is why folks hate that. If you ever somebody that says a lot of uh, attempts at like gotchaing things, and then they complain about screen caps, that's because screen caps hurt their bottom line of their attempt at making this grow. Um, they do not enjoy that part. But yeah, the MJF thing I think was like to me was very funny because like I know who that is. I know that's a professional wrestler. I know that that's somebody who didn't expect that tweet to blow up, that just said that because they were like, well, this is a thing that wrestling fans who are also into D&D will be mad about. That's good because he knows a lot of people play D&D who are also into wrestling. Uh, so like I can't fault him for that. I think it's I think it's smart of him. But yes, the person that was like, it is the most waste of time. It doesn't do anything. You don't gain anything from doing it. People shouldn't. It's like, all right, whatever, dude. Yeah, I don't know why people are allowing that person to engage with the community that way. I don't necessarily think that's wise. Um, it did mean that um, in the plus side, the fact that people were talking about those two tweets meant that people weren't necessarily talking about Mark Kern's very bad tweet, because the accessibility debate continued with Kim chiming in with his nonsense things about how games are interactive and just watch it on Twitch if you can't play the game, that nobody deserves to finish a game. Uh, and It's shitty. It's a shitty thing because accessibility and easy mode are a different thing, and options are a different thing, and I will never understand why people think that adding ways for other people to enjoy a game is a bad thing. I don't like. Hey, we've we are not the same people that we were when games were impossible and you get bragging rights for beating games. No, now they just don't make money. Some do. There are certainly hard games that do well, that have an audience and people are into them. But like there's also games that are have abilities that people can play and can strive to do well in, and there are alternative routes for those people. And it means that more people get to play video games, which is awesome. It's so frustrating to like this decision to mental decision that people have to equate difficulty with like I look, I understand that if a thing is tough, defeating it feels good. You get that rush of I beat this thing. Ha! I did it. You can't stop me. But the idea that like accessibility images, that lowering difficulty, changing the patterns, being able to skip puzzles, how any of that cheapens the win always infuriates me because it's not cheapening at all. It's just broadening and like being inclusive. It's incredibly frustrating. It's gatekeeping. Yes, Aristophan. Also, hi Aristophan. Yes, it is 100% an attempt at gatekeeping, and people say that it isn't gatekeeping. It's like no, it definitely is. It is definitely an attempt to hinder people and prevent people from being able to enjoy the thing. It's also that thing where I'm like, I'm happy that in 2019, it is a rare thing to see condescension in labeling your difficulty choices. I think that's great. I was always tired of like baby mode, and it's telling for people that are looking for a punishing challenge, for people who have never played one of these games before, for folks that want to see everything. Like say it like that. Don't say it like for people that need their handheld. It's like no, then I just don't want to play your game. Yes, that's kind of Bethesda's thing this day. Yeah, totally. I mean, there's always that thing. The like, I don't. It just makes me not want to try your thing. A couple years ago, when I got into Heroes of the Storm, when I was first playing, someone said in chat I should quit and play a more suitable baby game like Mario, and not their real game. I like that Heroes of the Storm is a real game and not Mario. It's like, sure. Okay, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I've had people get that all the time, right? If you specialize in certain games, you're not a real gamer because, like, to say that being obsessed with Bejeweled, like, Bejeweled is a game that people will say, that's not a real video game. Is that because people that you don't consider gamers play it? Sure. Then Blizzard largely stopped working on it, so he must feel good. Well, now it's because people play other non-games that don't get it, and they would be playing this if it wasn't for people playing baby games. It's just like, okay. But yeah, Bejeweled isn't a real game. Candy Crush isn't a real game. Because if they are real games, it means that a bunch of people who folks don't consider gamers are gamers because they play games. So you have to for your own, designate what are real games and what are true games. And then it's very funny because sometimes the game that you consider a game, some other asshole doesn't consider a game. And then you have to argue with them about it because why would they support you? They don't care about you and the game you like. They've decided that your game isn't good because they need to believe that Artifact is the real card game, and you play that baby game Hearthstone. But you love Hearthstone, and you're a real gamer, so that makes it a real game. I think you can call it baby mode if you embrace it. Yeah. I mean, look, it's all about how you take it, right? People use baby game in a derogatory fashion. Therefore, there are people who are not going to be comfortable using that term because it is used in an attempt to, shame. And if you embrace that, I think that's totally reasonable and totally worth it. If What Good Games wants to say that they play baby mode and they're okay with embracing that, that's awesome for them. But, if they're taking back baby mode, all for it. But generally, when I hear people say that, it is an attempt to belittle others and to categorize them as less than. And I'm not in favor of it. I see Rocket League people call their teammates trash openly, which really means that they have the worst score in the team. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's... Look, I don't often play games online. Uh, if I find out that there's a mode in a game, like a pickup mechanic in a game, that doesn't involve chat or text or... I mean, honestly, like Magic the Gathering, like there are games that don't have anything that you still... Or Hearthstone. You can still bother your opponent by being by spamming, and of course you can squelch them, you can mute them, but by spamming emotes, you can sarcastically say that's incredible. That when it wasn't incredible. Uh, you know, you, Trash is still going to be trash, unfortunately. You can just, unfortunately, you do have to mitigate that. Anyway, we can talk more about accessibility and shaming and all that after a pause for the cause. First and foremost, I'm going to drink some water, and I recommend you do the same. Maybe you have a soda, maybe you got an alcoholic beverage on you. It's a Saturday afternoon, and you're just going to relax and see what's up. Go for it. I'm going to drink some water. Very good. I'll drink some water after I'm done talking too. This is the pause for the cause. Y'all know this, but I'm going to go through it anyway. First and foremost, thanks for being here. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego emote, all that. If you use Twitch Prime, you have to manually renew. So, if you got to renew, I would love if you did it on stream so that the notification pops up and we can all say, hey, thanks so much. So do that if that's something you're into. If you're not currently a subscriber, legitimately, till the 25th, best time to subscribe. A tier 1, thanks to the fine folks at Subway, a tier 1 subscription is half price if you've never been a tier 1 subscriber. So instead of $5, it'll be $2.50. If you convert a gift subscription, that's $2.50. If you gift someone a subscription, that's not $2.50, that's $5. But you could also, if you felt like doing it, convert a gift or a Prime to the tier 1, and you get half off. And that would go into effect when your subscription is ready to renew. Also, bits and coins, super appreciated. If you feel like using bits and coins to cheer me on, make sure you use the Subway cheer emote, and I get bonus. Buzzkill is at the top of the leaderboard right now, not Ground Style right behind, Harold behind that. Bits and coins are always appreciated. Subscriptions always appreciated. It's great when the numbers go up. Uh, as I said, this is a pretty chill Saturday, but I'm happy to have you here. Um, if you don't feel like doing that, you can join on Patreon. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, all of this is in the show description. If you're watching on the VOD, if you go to twitch.tv/PatBaer, you can find links to this stuff there as well. Patreon's there. I have an Amazon wish list. I have put some stuff on my wish list. We're going to talk about it really briefly. This was bought by me, and I have 2 other things waiting in the wings to buy. If you want to skip those things, if you want to buy something on my wish list, I will buy it before I build Go Tanks or a Lego set, a race car thing. That's a 3-in-1. I've got some cheap options on the Amazon wish list. Some more expensive stuff, some real grades, some master grades, Lego sets, papercraft stuff. I put up the new Tall Geese 3 real grade, which is very expensive, and the Shenlong from the with sword and shield, which is very expensive. And then some cheaper options and some really expensive stuff. Some equipment at the bottom, and all that stuff is super helpful if that's something you'd like to do, but you don't have to. You're obviously under no obligation to do any of that. You can go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card, and then you get a code in your email, and you send me that code through a Whisper or DM. If you don't want to use Amazon, you just want to be like, hey, here's $25. Here's $20 or whatever. Buy something in the store. That would be great. I would love to do that. And then I have a coffee and a Streamlabs and a PayPal. And then anything that goes to that goes to me buying model kits. Because, as I say, if I was just a game streamer, I have to buy games now and again. I get a lot out of PUBG or something like that, or Hearthstone, and I play that, 20 hours a week. I don't do that. I build model kits 3 times a week. And I play games on occasion. But it adds up, and I am financially in not a great spot and have not been in a while, and I apologize for that. I'm hoping things get better. I was hoping that yesterday I would find out about a job, and I didn't hear from them. They said they would tell me yesterday. So I'm hoping that I find out about them. I find out about that on Monday, is my hope. I don't know. We will see, but I'm hopeful. As of right now, I am still under consideration for a job that, like I said, I'm hoping I get. It's been rough. Sorry, real quick. Discord. Join my Discord. It's a good little place. It's a nice little place. It's one of the nicest Discords out there because chat is one of the nicest chats I've ever experienced in my life. Y'all are great. I put a vlog up on Monday. You can watch that. It's about PAX West. I'm trying to get better at vlogging, so I did that. And then I have backgrounded characters, which I did on Wednesday. You can watch that. It's quick. This one's silly, and I think it's good. Yo, next week's, I think I said this on Thursday. Next week's Background Characters 38, which is coming out next week. Next Wednesday. That's one of the weirdest ones I've ever done in my life. It is very weird. Ooh, I just remembered that next week I have to do 2 of them because I will be doing the following week. I will be at PAX, or I will be working near Comic Con, and so I got to film one. I don't know why I got in the habit of filming them on Thursday and then they go up the next Wednesday. I just got in that habit. It's nice because, as I say, every Thursday I film one, then I don't forget to do it. And then if I get busy, then it works out. And it used to be that Thursday was my day off. Thursday was my day off, which is why I streamed on Thursday. So that was helpful. So thanks for putting up with all that. Let's talk about anime. We've got another 45 minutes or so left in the stream. We're going to talk about some anime stuff. I'll talk about some of the shows. Again, I did have 2 shows that I watched, 3 shows that I watched wrap up. Um, 3 shows that I watched wrap up on Wednesday and Thursday. Uh, and then Given did finish. Given finished, but I had already like it. I didn't realize that it was going to be 11 episodes, so I didn't know because I was behind on it. Um, but yeah, Given wrapped up. So I did not watch because I'm just feel conflicted about it. Uh, like not conflicted. I guess conflicted is the wrong term. Uh, I I'm a little bored with Fruits Basket, so I didn't watch it. But I'll talk about it on Monday. I will watch it for Monday. Um, okay, so Doctor Stone. I believe Doctor Stone is going to be a double length. Let me look this up. I think I looked it up once, but I don't know. I think Doctor Stone is going to be 24 or 26 episodes. It'll be 24 episodes. So this is the halfway point. Um, Doctor Stone, as I've said, they're winning me back. I was a little down on it because it wasn't necessarily what I wanted from the show. It was more shonen that I would have liked, but um, the the uh, the fight against sulfuric acid, the fight to contain sulfuric acid and fight it with science, of course, to fight it with science, and the embodiment of it as like the mistress of the lake was fucking rad. It looked really cool. This episode looked awesome. Got some character growth, some character development. We got more from Chrome, who kind of took a little bit of a back seat. He got to do a little bit more. So more character development from folks, which is cool. A little bit more old man. Got a little bit more of that old man, which rules. Because that old man Craftsman is a great character. But yeah, overall, it's good. Um, I'm expecting next episode to be pretty cool. But I did wonder if there was going to be a cliffhanger. There is no cliffhanger, but I did wonder if there was going to be one. Let's see. Speaking of cliffhanger, there's a bit of a cliffhanger with Fire Force. Fire Force was a weird. It was a weird episode, y'all, because the first half of it is a flashback to how the Firehouse 8 got created, and you got to see character stuff for some of the characters that you don't know a lot about, and it was like cool. But I was like, wait, is this going to be a flashback episode? It's not. It's a flashback episode, and then it's the beginning of another chapter. So it was an odd paced episode. I thought it was good, but I thought it was oddly paced. And introduced some other characters that are kind of definitely played very differently. It will be interesting to see what happens going forward with these characters. I don't know. I don't know. Also, Fire Force apparently is going on a break. So I don't think I think that. Let me see. I'm going to look this up. Fire Force, I believe, is going to go on like a 2-week break. Let's see. Oh, of course, that's telling me 2-week episode delay. Yeah, so they're going to have a 2-week episode delay, which is a bummer because, as many folks know, shows are wrapping up. This season is wrapping up, and the fact that that's going to go on a 2-week break means that that's one less episode to watch before the new stuff starts. And then I also am afraid that Fire Force is going to get lost in the shuffle of the new shows, which is a bummer. But it's also like, oh, that's one less thing to watch next week. Good or bad. That's definitely one less thing. So hopefully, I don't know anything about the manga. that is based on. So I don't know if they're getting close to catching up with anything. I know that like I think it's not super close, but I think Black Clover is going to have to take a break because I think they're getting close to catching up. So um, yeah, but Fire Force like also it's behind because it was already behind because they took a week off when the fire at the Japanese animation studio happened, which makes sense because the whole show is about fire. So out of respect, they held an episode a week, which I think is really nice. And so they weren't promoting their firefighting show. Even though they do fight fire, I still respect. I can understand, appreciate, and respect that choice. Um, so yeah, that's Fire Force. Some good stuff, some character stuff. Uh, you get some reasons. Anytime you get to hear um, some of those voice actors get to do stuff, it's pretty neat. Especially when there's a character who kind of doesn't talk much, talks. That's fun. Is it wrong to try to pick up a girl? Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Hey, this episode felt fucking weird as hell. Really weird, y'all. This is episode 11 of 12, right? Episode 10 basically ended the chapter, like the story. And this one, like I understand that it is setting up what is going to be season 3, I guess. But I can respect the fallout of the show. Or of the, like, let's do a fallout episode of this. But, like, it is setting up, I don't know, it's just weird. I don't know what the next week's episode is going to be. Like, is the next week's episode them getting out of the hole or meeting the dragon that no one could defeat? Or what? I don't know what it's going to be. But it was a weird thing because it was like focused on this character Ares, who is a god but doesn't act like the other gods, and like wages war, and is just getting like trounced. And then there's like stuff between Belle and Hestia that's like interesting but not like super engaging, and is just fine. So a thing that happened a lot in this season of that I didn't like, and I've talked about this on the stream before, is that there is a character that was sold into slavery that was rescued. And she was sold into slavery by a house that deals in prostitution. That's their thing. Which is, it is what it is. Obviously, forced prostitution, like clearly I'm against. I'm not against sex work, but I am clearly against the forced element of it and the slavery element of it, certainly. But it dealt a lot with the feelings of a character who does not feel that she should be saved, that she can ask for help because she feels tainted. And Belle wanting to help, being afraid to help, being afraid to put his family at risk, his friends and family at risk that just strive to help him and not being able to lean on them. And then also not knowing if he can be a hero for someone that doesn't want to be saved. And the big push of it is the thing that it's okay to want to believe in heroes. It's okay to want to be saved. You doing this work doesn't mean that you're less than. Which is like, okay, it took a fucking real long time to get there, but I'm glad we got there, anime. Well, part of episode 11 is one character trying to tell her and then not succeeding in telling her, by the way, you always passed out of an embarrassment and you've never done anything sexual with anyone. You're still pure. because you could never do it, and they don't say anything, which is like, one, I'm glad that that's not, congratulations, Leo. I'm glad that that's not like the reason why everything's okay is because she found out she actually hasn't done anything. But it's also like, doesn't need to be in there. They don't need to be doing this. They could just have her like come to terms with the fact that like doing this work that she was forced to do doesn't make her unworthy of being alive and being loved and have friendship and all that. So that's like very strange and pretty shitty and a big bummer with this season that I otherwise enjoy a lot. As someone that is still watching season 1 of the show, does it continue that all the women want to get with Belle? Epic open world, 100%. Slightly. There are some samurai-like characters, and those ladies respect Belle and like Belle a lot, but they don't seem to want to sleep with him. But the supporter, most goddesses, some gods, unless you're a real villain, you like Belle as a person, at least. And then there are some women that like him more than that. A integral part of season 2 is a person being very interested in Belle because someone else is very interested in Belle. And it's a lot. But that is a core element, Epic, of is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Ladies love Belle Crane. Or Cranell. Crane. Or at the very least, respect the hell out of him. It's still a good show. It's just there was some real fucking weirdness and some real, this should not be a 4-episode conversation. This should be fixed quicker. Get over it, Belle. Fucking tell her she's worth being saved, even if she slept with dudes. Jesus. But overall, still good. I don't know. Like I said, next episode, like the cliffhanger is like, that's weird. This is a weird one. All right, and let's see. Can put it there. Okay. Let's see. I go just real quick. Terrible. Of course, it's too late. Why would you do that? I thought based on the title that Belle would be going after the ladies, but it seems the opposite happens. Yes. Epic open world. It is a fun element of the title that it is while he is very much interested in Ein, he's very much interested in her. The spurring moment of the show is his grandfather, who you'll learn it doesn't change anything. You learn his grandfather isn't necessarily who is a big deal. I'll just say that his grandfather's a big deal. His grandfather was like adventuring. That's the life. You go into caves. You go on adventures. You meet a nice girl there. Belle, you definitely should go to, if anything happens to me, you definitely should become an adventurer, and you can meet great ladies that way, which is where the title comes from, is Belle's grandfather who raised him, basically telling him that's what he should do with his life. And then he, definitely is interested in people, and then also wants to get stronger to stand next to the person that he's enamored with. Let's see. Okay. Demon Slayer. There's only one episode left of Demon Slayer. I believe Demon Slayer is 24. I'm going to look that up. Or 26, and we were on episode 25. Um, let's see. Anime series, April 6th. Anime series. Because I know it's coming to that. Yes. I believe it's 26 episodes. And this is episode 25. Yeah. And then next week is the last episode. And then there'll probably be more because people seem to really like it. It's good. I mean, Dragon Slayer, or Demon Slayer, not Dragon Slayer. Demon Slayer is really fucking great. This episode was interesting. It was Tanjiro being Tanjiro, like working really hard, earning respect of a lot of people, trying to support his friends and get them back into shape, and do his thing. There's some backstory stuff about some of the characters in the show, which is interesting. Overall, it was pretty light. We have not. So Tanjiro has a new sword, but he did not use it in this episode. So we did not see if the color has changed on his blade or not. Probably won't because it's a new blade, but maybe because his fighting style has changed some. So he might have a different color in the blade, which is a cool little thing to find out. And he finds out that his technique that his father knew might be the technique, might be an actual fighting style, and he doesn't know, and so he's got to ask the dude that uses flame dancing, that is very much clearly uses flame dancing because because the dude has different colored hair that looks like it's flames. So definitely that dude does fucking fire dancing. Like obviously and for real. So yeah, overall good episode. Just when I was like, oh, there's no Nezuko in this episode. There was some Nezuko at the end. Not much, but there was a little Nezuko at the end. But it does look like Nezuko can stay there while he goes out and will be safe, which is good. Because then we'd have less episodes of him having to also protect her while he's trying to fight, which will be good. We'll see. And then there's a thing about a demon on a train, and maybe that'll be their case. But we'll see. It was good. I think the supporting characters were really fun in the episodes, including our boar masked friend, whose blades were like broken from fighting. He got brand new blades by like a blade master, and then he just went in with a rock and broke them all up. Infamous says, hey Pat, how's it going? It's going good. We've been streaming for about an hour and a half, working on our GM commands. We did an early stream today because I have to go do work. Actually, I do have to reply to an email speaking of work, so let me just reply real quick that I will give this list to the box office person when I get in tonight. Hopefully they'll be. Great. We'll see there. Sorry. I'm like I said, I'm covering tonight, and I don't know why, but the people in the first show, which is going to be fun, decided that they just need to wait until 7:30 to send an email about their show at 9:30. And it's like, I mean, okay, but like, you'd known about the show. I sent an email 2 days ago about the show. You could have replied at any time. I don't know why you would send me tech before, like, so close to the show starting. I mean, maybe word got out that I am really good at what I do, which is true, and I will pat myself on the back for that. I'm fucking great at teching. But, like, I don't know. Maybe you want to, like, give the option that I could be like, hey, actually, I can't do what you're asking me right now. Here's alternatives. But if you don't give me that time, I can't give you alternatives. Whatever, y'all. Ooh. That's wrong. E12 and E12. Great. Okay, so the last show I want to talk about. There's another episode next week, so I'm not done with it. But, hey, Pat, I wanted to go out for food, but there's a snake by my car. Hey, Mr. Bob, sounds like you're not going out for food for a while. Sounds like you're in a stalemate with that snake. That's my opinion. Is you're not going to go out for food. Leo, this is just me. This is not on Mr. Bob. This is not on anybody. To me, it doesn't fucking matter. Maybe a garden steak is fine. I know a garden steak is fine. But to me, it doesn't matter. Steak wins. Steak wins. You're not going out to eat for a while. So I talked about this. I tweeted about this last night, and I mentioned at the top of the stream. GRANBELM, or is it GRANBELM? I'm going to look this up. What it is? It's GRANBELM. GRANBELM. It's all capital letters. GRANBELM. One word. GRANBELM. Is interesting. Look, I don't know if it's great. I suggest a long stick. I need a goose to deal with this. Yeah, you need a mongoose is what you need, Mr. Bob. You got to get yourself a mongoose to take care of business. I do not suggest a long stick. So GRANBELM. I didn't watch it when it first started because I thought it was just it looked like kind of a not super inspired team of ladies. This girl is discovering that she has magical abilities, and there's some kind of tournament and whatever. And it didn't seem that great, and no one I know was watching it, so I didn't hear anybody talking about it. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, Pat, that show is mages battling with mechs, and it takes a while to get going, but then it fucking gets going. So, because I haven't been talking about it every week, I don't want to say what the reveal is, but there is a mid to late season reveal. And again, there's one more episode, so it's not done yet. But there is a reveal about the main character that I'm sure some people saw coming. I did not see coming. Did not see coming. And is it like a game changer? No. But it did increase the stakes of what the show was going on. It did increase like the feels is like I can't describe it anymore. The drama goes up. There's a lot more feelings and interactions and fucking just gut-wrenching sadness in it. And it like it goes for touching moments that I would not have expected of the show because it started so typical with like, oh, look, this happy-go-lucky girl finds out that magic is real, and it's rough, and some characters had some real sadness, but she's going to overcome this because she has a friend that she cares about, and people she cares about, and a little sister and a mom, and she's going to like step up and be awesome because she's got to step up and be awesome. And she'll do it with a smile, even when things are sad. And then they're like, hey, here's the thing you didn't know about this character. And I was like, oh no. Oh. And I just got fucking sad. And there's still one episode left. The fights are all right. they're okay. The animation is good looking. I would say in general, the animation is pretty solid. Um, it's not the best show. It's not a hidden gem. It's not like Demon Slayer, where I was like, why did I fucking not watch this show? Why did I give up on the show? I shouldn't have given up on the show, which is how I feel about Demon Slayer and wishing that I'd been watching it week to week instead of getting caught up on it. This show, I was just like, yeah, all right, this is a good binge show. This is the kind of show you watch when a bunch of your anime shows ended and new ones aren't starting until October 2nd. I just realized that, like, a bunch of stuff starts on the 2nd of October, which is good because I'll be able to talk about it on the 2nd when I stream. Um, I still don't know where Hayagate is, the wrestling show. I don't know where that is going to go. They Crunchyroll had a video about all the isekai they have, and they basically have the isekai that I want to watch. They have Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in Next Life, Ascendance of a Bookworm, and High School Prodigies Have It Easy in Another World. So they might not categorize Harage as an isekai, even though it definitely is. But I'm also expecting to look on Hulu on Tuesday or on Wednesday and find it on Hulu. Because it might possibly be a Hulu show. But I don't know. It could just be not in that thing because they were like, let's promote these other 3 videos instead. I don't know. I do not know. But anyway, GRANBELM. I'm going to watch the final episode next week, and I'll talk about it. And it was a fucking trip. And I was pleasantly surprised about how it was good. And, like, yeah, the mechs look cool and interesting, and they're CG, but who cares? Because it's decent CG. I don't mind. The CG I mind is, like, the fights in Aeroforta, where nothing feels good. Oh, I didn't mention Aeroforta. What I want to mention is a character gets killed in Aeroforta, but not before he calls our main character an edgelord, and that rules because our main character in that show is a fucking edgelord, and I'm glad that someone called him out. It's funny that a character who is also an edgelord, who turned to evil because people weren't praising how great he was, and demons were like, "We think you're great," and he like fell for that shit, is also calling the main character. But is there any good anime or manga that's not Kinnikuman? I mean, yes. Like, obviously, you're telling me, is there anything that's as good as Muscle Man? Or anything besides Muscle Men that's good? Or Muscle Man? Yeah. There are. As I mentioned, I don't know anything about the isekai that's coming out soon, but there is an isekai, Karage, which is about a professional wrestler who gets summoned to a fantasy world to defeat demon beasts and says no, and instead opens up a pet store. And I'm excited about that because that's going to be great. Now, am I trying to tell you that Muscle Man is bad? No. No, Muscle Man is great. Planet Muscle. It's a great show. It's nonsense. Yeah, Infamous. I don't know if it's going to be good or not because it's the same creator as Konosuba, which some people really like, and I didn't like at all. So I don't know if the jokes are going to hand up, if it's going to be annoying, but the premise is fucking great. There's only one other manga out there that's premise is better, in my opinion, that has not been made into an anime yet, and that is there is an anime out there about a Yakuza member who is now a former Yakuza member because he meets a really great lady. And he's like, this lady's awesome. And she falls in love with him. But she's a business lady. She's got business to do. She's got to go to work. So he becomes a former Yakuza who becomes a house husband. And it's all about him, like, figuring out how to buy groceries against other housewives and how to keep a home. And, like, he, like, that manga I have not read, But that is one of the best premises I've ever heard of any show ever. Because it's just such a great way to start comedy. There's also a joke in it where he Googles how to fight multiple people at once. He's like, hold on a second. He pulls out his phone to Google because like there's a bunch of people intimidating him, and he looks up how to fight a bunch of people at once, which is just such a good fucking gag. It makes me mad. I'm mad at how good a joke that is because I didn't come up with that joke, and that's a very fucking funny joke. Of just being like, like, ah. So if that ever becomes an anime, I will definitely watch it because it's a fucking great premise. I don't know. There's always good stuff, right? I know that I watch things that aren't awesome, and I think that's important to not just watch things that you like, but to watch things that are, have problems and aren't perfect and are messy, because you can learn a lot from those shows. I talk about Demon Lord Retry, which has a very unique take on the isekai, but it's also riddled with bad jokes and pacing issues, but has something interesting to say, and I'm definitely into that. Isekai Cheat Magician, which, like, as I've said, Isekai Cheat Magician is slow in a way that generally isekai aren't, and I think that's fun. I would like to watch much more anime, but as a single dad of two, I find it much easier to digest manga. Infamous, that's totally fair. Yeah, manga is like, I really like Black Clover. I think Black Clover, and I'm starting to read I'm starting to read it. I've watched the anime and started to read it, but I would recommend Black Clover. I think it's a really fun shonen show. I think its themes, especially its themes of rivalry that are positive rivalry, like sibling, and having rivals and strong people that make you stronger, and still loving them in friendship, and the minor characters are just so loving and fun that I'm always into that and always willing to give them a lot of love. Also in the manga, you won't be annoyed by the thing that a lot of people are turned off from when I tell them that Black Clover is great, and they reply, "Well, that's the show with the guy who yells all the time. I don't want to watch that. That guy yells all the time." And it's true. The main character is so gung-ho, Asta, that he is often yelling. And some people can't fucking deal with that shit. But in the manga, you don't hear it. It's in your head. And you can choose to have him not yell in your head if you want. But yeah, Infamous, I totally understand. I have a lot of time to watch anime. Also, I don't have to watch other things. I just watch anime. I watch anime and YouTube videos, and sometimes wrestling. But often these days, I'm watching more people talking about wrestling than I'm actually watching wrestling. Because that's just the way things are right now. I still keep up and listen to podcasts about wrestling. I also listen to far fewer podcasts than I used to, which makes me annoyed when new podcasts come out. Will Smith and Brad Shoemaker literally just started a podcast about technology that they're going to try to do weekly. And that's awesome, except I don't got time for another fucking podcast. And of course I'm going to listen to that. It's two people that I love as entertainment personalities and as people who I consider, who are friends of mine, who I consider to be like top tier, awesome people, have a fucking podcast about tech. Like, I'm going to listen to that, but when do I have time for that? When do I have time to listen to more podcasts? The answer is I don't have time for more fucking podcasts. But I'm still going to give it a shot because I want to support my friends and their new endeavor. I'm just gonna have to let another one go. I let a couple go. You got to sometimes. I have a couple podcasts that I don't listen to anymore. I still just download, so they keep their download numbers from me, but I just delete it or let a bunch pile up. I think what I'm going to, Brad and Will are great people. They totally are. They're wonderful, and I want to support them. I think what I'm going to have to start doing is listening to podcasts while I'm like working on things, since I don't really have a commute a lot of times now. I'm going to have to start listening to podcasts like instead of watching YouTube videos. I have too many podcasts, and I'm trying to catch up on a few of them. Yeah, Lord Crashington. There's like a couple that I just have that I just like, nah. They're like, thank God for podcasts that are every other week. And then when they come out, I like try to make sure I keep up with those, which then just pushes things back. But it's like having the Flophouse be every other week means like, okay, it's every other Saturday. All right, let me add that. But then there's Saturdays, like this Saturday, today, no new Flophouse podcast. Great. I don't have to feel bad about not getting to it. And especially because sometimes I listen to things that are like timely or they promote things that they're doing that I don't hear about. Like, what if Waypoint did less podcasts? What if they did less podcasts? Like I don't know if that's good for them. It's probably not. It's probably good for them to do 3 podcasts a week. But for me, it would be pretty great if they didn't do fucking 3 podcasts a week. So that I don't feel bad about like skipping a Waypoint. Especially because sometimes the Waypoints have Danielle. And I want to listen to Danielle Riendeau because Danielle Riendeau is talking about top tier. Danielle Riendeau is fucking top tier people in this world. You should be lucky to have that kind of person think of you in a positive way. But like, because she doesn't work full time for Waypoint under Vice. Like when she's on, if she's on a Waypoint or like a Waypoint, then I'm like, oh, I should listen because Danielle's on. These are very nonsense problems to have. I understand. To be like, oh, I'm so mad that the podcasts I listen to come out too often and have too many episodes, and I have too many options to listen to things that I want to listen to. I understand that that is nonsense, but it's still true. Alright, I put this on wrong. This out here. Sorry about that. And Waypoint is top tier. Indeed. I have an hour worth of commute each day. Podcasts get me through it. Ristafan, that sounds rad. I don't have that anymore. I used to have a 45-minute commute each way, or half an hour to 45. It made listening to podcasts way, like, great, and I was thrilled to have that. I don't have that right now. So I have like a 15-minute commute right now to things. So it makes it harder to listen to podcasts. All right, so this goes like this. I do manual labor for work, so I listen to about 20 hours of podcasts a week. There you go. See, yeah. I don't do that. I mean, I do a variety of things, but right now I don't have a way to listen to podcasts or video stuff. I just don't have the opportunity. All right, so we do that. We do that. I'm going to try to finish these legs up here, and then we will wrap up the leg interiors here and our feet. We're getting a lot of progress done, but we're going to finish this up, and then we will call it a stream in a moment or two. So good, consistent ones are perfect. Totally. Leo says, but I went to PAX to put me a whole week behind. Yeah, I had to make some hard decisions at PAX. PAX helped because I had a walk. I had a 25-minute walk from my Airbnb to the convention center, so I was able to listen to some podcasts in the on to and from. So that helped some. But yes, I definitely got thrown off. Uh, I usually listen to music on planes, but I was like, nope, I have to listen to podcasts. I got to get caught back up. I have a soul sucking job. One of the few things I can do during it is listen to podcasts. So, Epic Open World, I'm very happy you're able to listen to podcasts. Uh, I will say this: on weeks where I have something going on and I can't listen to Giant Bomb live, the Giant Bombcast live, it throws off my week a whole lot to not be able to listen to that live. I didn't realize how much I was benefiting from having Tuesday afternoons available to listen to it as it happens. Because like when I add in that 2.5 hour podcast, suddenly everything's thrown off. Um, but I will have something to listen to when I go to work tonight. All right, that's gonna do it for the stream. Again, I apologize for doing an early stream, but I'm glad you all were here. We had a solid crew of very fun folks. My next stream will be Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, normal stream time. Next week's streaming schedule will be normal. For me, Monday the 23rd, Thursday the 26th, Saturday the 28th, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. The addition, Wednesday the 25th. Please join me at 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday next week. We're going to play some Jackbox games because it's the monthly bonus stream, which I need to rename. I pretty much renamed it anyway, but it's the Jackbox with Chat stream. So I'll be playing Jackbox games with you. So if you can come next Wednesday, it'll be great. But also make sure you come on Monday because we're not going to finish it, but we might finish it. There's not a lot left of this kit. We might finish this up on Monday. If not, we'll get very close. Thanks so much to everybody that hung out. Fan, Ultron, Leo, Epic, Mr. Bob, everybody that was there, Lord Crashington, Infamous, everybody was here. Infamous was here. Glad you were able to come in. If I forgot your name, to say your name, I apologize for that. But we had a ton of great folks here in the chat. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And I hope to see you next time on the next Build with Baer workshop. Bye-bye.